What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, Facebook, YouTube, whatever platform is watching this right now. This is my second video. Last video was somewhat of an introduction on what was going on with me, mainly pertaining the beginning of my recovery and the somewhat short journey here from treatment to the new transitioning state that I am currently in. Last video I mentioned a few things that I was going to talk about, but today I want to talk about love or relationships in early recovery. First of all, relationships with me, I can speak for me, have not been one of my strong points in the past. There were emotions and mental states and statures that I was not ready for as a young man, being in the military, which I was at 19, and having my son at 19, and having the mother being 17. Was a very difficult time for me to be able to have the mental capacity to be able to be stable within myself and also stable within relationship, as well as relationship with a newborn child. My son is 21 years old now, so I'm 39, so you can kind of do the math, and you kind of see what years were what, and so forth and so on. But anyhow, so just a little bit with me in relationships, and I'm talking about the opposite sex here. Relationships in the street during my addiction. First of all, in my addiction, I was in a relationship with my youngest children's mom, and my children are 9 and 7 now. I was using cocaine for about 10 years. So pretty much that relationship, if anyone knows about the usage of cocaine and the use in addiction, your addiction is your passion, it's your obsession, it's the thing that you love the most and you go hardest for. And it didn't pertain to my family or situation whatsoever. So I neglected my relationship, and I received the ultimate, the repercussion of it was breakup, just tear the relationship, like I mentioned before with my children's mother. I put them through so much hell, and I openly apologized to them. I did admit to my wrongdoings, and I am correcting myself now. So anyhow, 2012, I moved back here from Ohio. Ohio is where I started using cocaine. I came back here, I sheltered it. Parents didn't know what was going on, and I lived with my children's mother for about, within those years, probably about 4 years since I had moved back in 2012. 2017, 18, I kind of balanced between, leaving, hitting treatment facilities, saying that I would get better, that I would do this, do that, and reconcile. She needed support as well as far as the children, and I would go back into that situation. Even instances of even using at her establishment, because it was hers, it was in her name. And it was a very self-centered life, like I said before, a very self-centered life. Relationship was not on me like that. I do notice that during those years, I was not trying to reconcile the relationship that I had with my children's mother whatsoever. I was willing to use the drug and let that be the guiding light in my life. So there was no relationship there whatsoever. I say about 2019, I moved out. 2018, I moved out to my own place. I was blessed with a program called Section 8. And this program here is basically based off your income. If you don't work, you pay a low You pay a percentage of the rent, not the whole thing. I mean, it's a blessing to have Section 8 of assistance. And I was actively addiction, which was dangerous. Like I said, I had neglected my relationships and my children, and it was no secret that I would soon be neglecting my responsibilities as a parent. I mean, as an adult, excuse me, and as a parent to control the atmosphere. Everything that came along with me having my apartment was, it was drug related. It was looked at as a spot where you could come and get your shit from, or you could set up shop. And set up shop meaning you could set up and sell, and women would periodically come over. These women I necessarily didn't have a relationship with. It was more, like I said, of the addiction. What do you got? What do you need? You need somewhere to lay your head. And I was that guy that most of the women that knew me could come to, and they could come lay their head and relax. There was one gentleman, I will speak on it real quick. There was one gentleman that did have a house like that, and people would go over there and they would stay the night. They would use and they would stay the night. And there was a guy in Ohio like that, where they would use and stay the night, use and stay the night. And I never thought that me having my own place, I would subject my home to other addicts in their situation. Now I am a sympathetic person, and I do have moments of empathizing with people and understanding what they go through. Sometimes that puts a little bit more stress on me because I'm able to read people pretty well. And through my addiction, that didn't go away. The fact that we're all suffering when we're using was a sort of falsetto, or a sort of fog in my life, and I thought I could save everyone within my own addiction. And in the neglect of self-care of myself, things kind of went down in my life. But anyway, back to this video is mainly about a relationship, in knowing myself now, and the relationship that I am in, and the relationship that I am looking to hold on to. So back to this facility here. I had completed, I hadn't been in a relationship in a while. I completed, and I met this young lady. Now, what I'm saying is, when I'm getting out of treatment, of course, as a man, I have urges, and sometimes the first thing smoking ain't the best thing to smoke. You know what I'm saying? If you feel me. And at this point, I'm fresh, clean, and I say to myself, those women that were out on the street with me were so battered, they were so bruised, they were so destroyed, they were so mistreated, and the drug is the only thing that kept them in that, even though they wanted to wake up out of it. And it wasn't the acceptance of the individuals, it was the non-acceptance of the addiction that kept them there. And I understood that, and I was a vessel for a sort of a safety net out there. So when I got to treatment, my mindset was, these girls been through a lot. Don't pay them no mind. Don't get involved. Stay away from them. Don't, just fall back. So my experience is, I met this wonderful young lady. She was very shy, kind of mysterious. I had been in this place for about a week, and she was kind of flirty with me, and I was flirting with her, and we talked. We talked for a minute. They had a little area where we could go kind of sit down and smoke. And she talked, and she told me, about herself, and, and this and that. And she was very, 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 very open. And that's one thing that intrigued me, that she was very open. She didn't come off as seductive, but once again, caution is always there, because within our lifestyle and the things that we've done in our lifestyle, there comes a somewhat of a manipulation factor. Um, Lack of trust, manipulation factor. Who is she? What is she? What's her aim? What's his aim? I mean, you got to put boundaries up early recovery. You got to put boundaries up. You got to put boundaries up in life, period, because you don't know who you're dealing with. So this young lady, she asked me for my number. Now, me coming up with insecurities, and these are things that I took down in my inventory, insecurities and not thinking highly of myself and self-esteem issues. This was different. I had never met a woman that was confident enough to ask me for her number. Like I said, she was kind of shy, flirty, but she's also attractive too, by the way. She's attractive, she's beautiful, but she's got this mysterious about her, you know what I'm saying? And I know me personally, I like a tug and pull in a relationship. I like a tug and pull in the person that I talk to. I don't like deliberate sexual approach. Once again, I've been around that on the street, where women offered me sex because they stayed there, and I was like, I'm cool, honey, you good, you can sit down, you can lay down, get you some rest. That's the kind of guy I was, you know what I'm saying? And for some men, they say that's weak, you should have did this, you should have did that to her. It ain't about that, man, because you know what they going through on the street. You may not have it to give or offer, but somebody else do. And anybody know that a drug, you do anything for it, because it becomes part of your life. That's that addict, that's that insanity, that's that addiction. So I hook up with her, and I take the number down, right? So I'm still in my early recovery. I'm still doing journaling. I'm still writing. I'm still doing that. And I'm looking at the phone. I'm like, I ain't gonna call her. I ain't gonna call her, because for one, she told me she was talking to somebody, and they were kind of rocky. But who don't say that? But I'm like, okay, well, she talking to somebody. If it's meant to be, it'll happen. That's the point I'm at, because it's recovery first. If it's meant to be, it will happen. So, let's see what happened. Oh, so a week went by. So we like January 1st. So before that though, I blocked her. Let me tell you why I blocked her. I blocked her because I'm starting to slowly change, and I didn't want that shit in my life. I didn't want to be drugging here, and I'm still working here on recovery. Like, recovery is abundantly my circle, you know what I'm saying? And to let things come in from here, that angle, I wasn't gonna have it, because for once in my life, I was tired. I was tired. I was ready to see what God and what life really had to offer me. And so what was I gonna say? So I blocked her on my phone, right? So like maybe like a week or two went past, almost damn near 2 weeks, and I ain't seen her. Like, I seen her passing by, but I was like, we missing each other catching. So I go out in that area where I first met her, and she's out there, and I'm like, what's up? She like, what's up? I'm like, how you doing? I'm doing alright. I said, how's your relationship going? I'm not really feeling him. Maybe break up with him. Like, So she asked me, like, you didn't text me back. And I'm like, you never text me. And she's like, yeah, I did. So I went to my phone. I'm like, I ain't got no text. And I was like, I went to my messenger blocking, and it was a message in there, and it said, what's up? How you doing? You know, and I'm like, oh, damn, I did block you. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't to be funny. It was that point of, I was starting to work recovery in my life, and I wasn't going to allow anything that was outside come inside too early, especially a woman. For all any guys out there know, sober, clean, with God, on God. I mean, women are going to be women, and they have emotional strain on a man if we allow them to. And you have to accept the qualities and the special inside of a woman. Each woman is special and can create. So you have to understand these qualities. And we all have flaws, qualities as well as flaws. And the fact that she's a woman and you might feel physically attached, that's another thing you can throw in there too as well. So I'm like, my bad. So I unblocked her. I say, listen, I'm gonna hit you up. Like, we're gonna talk. You know, we're gonna chop it up. You want to talk sometime? I'm definitely gonna give you some time. We can talk. So, like, from that moment then, like, we was hitting it off. You know what I'm saying? We was hitting it off. So I do poetry, I do poems, I do writings, and I started writing. She said, can you write me some stuff? And I said, sure. She said, what kind of writing you do? I said, well, I do, just so happened, I do, a little bit, I write love letters. I wrote romantic things. I've always been a romantic kind of guy. And so, yeah, I sent her this thing. She's like, wow, really? And I'm like, really? Now, mind you, I've said before, there were insecurities in me and a lack of self-esteem. These were things that came from when I was a young child, coming up, being teased in class, being ridiculed, raise your hand, not wanting to learn a system that felt like it would tease you. And that was school, and that was expression. It felt like I had been cursed with an expression, and I didn't want to express anymore. I didn't want to partake anymore. I wanted to give up every single thing that involved educational or growth aspect, because I felt like it was a curse to be cursed or to be teased. So I said thank you. And I continued, writing and giving her this. And she's like, oh, write me this and write me that. And I'm like, really? You really admire it, So from there it went to, can you send me pictures? And I'm like, oh, pictures. She want pictures of me now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking to myself, why she want pictures of me? Now, see, I'm still coming out of this mentality, thinking everybody out to get me. Why you want a picture of me? What you gonna do? You gonna hurt me? Everybody, it's painful. You can't go into it hard. But so she's like, why you want a picture? And I'm like, why you want a picture? And she's like, well, I just want a picture of you. Cute. Listen, you cute. Listen, you cute. So we had already established that she wasn't in a relationship anymore, and she was moving on, and she was single, and she was focused on the recovery. She was actually, I think she's like 10 months ahead of me. She's like 8 months or 9 months ahead of me, like in her recovery. And, or she might be 10. Maybe 10 months. She's 9. I think she's 9 months ahead of me in my recovery. So that's one thing that intrigued me too. It didn't matter about us. It mattered about what she did to keep her going and what things I could learn too. And even though they say you're supposed to deal with a man, you're not supposed to deal with a woman, to me, I mean, I was able to provide more expression and honesty and everything and openness with her. And so, time went on. We talked. We didn't about talk. And so this program I was at, I wasn't able to leave or go or this and that. And we just talked. And when we did, eventually see each other, I took it upon myself to find things of value to discuss with her. Now, it's no secret that most women who have been in active drug abuse have or 9 times out of 10, if they haven't, they will be one day approached by a man. And this particular man or this particular woman may not have the interest of it. They might see your addiction as an opportunity to manipulate, to use you. I finally became one individual that didn't judge I didn't judge her. Like I said, the women that came to my house, they had been beaten, raped. I don't even know what the percentage of women being raped, but even women that didn't get high on heroin or crack or drink alcohol have been raped. It's the percentile of that is so high. So that's a scar that comes in abundance with women, and it's sad. Like I was saying, rape, sex trafficking, falling for cases, taking cases for men, just ultimately drugged through the fucking mud. As a man, I that part of the game I couldn't identify. I could identify with it on the outside, but I could not empathize. I could sympathize. So immediately I sympathized with part of her story. And when you're in a relationship with somebody in recovery, there are deep, dark secrets that some of them may not ever come out. Some of them may not ever come out. But you have to understand that when a person trying to change their life, they're trying to accept, like the Serenity Prayer says, accept the things they cannot change, the courage to change things they can. They can't focus on the past, and that's work in recovery. I suggested one time early on that I have an intimate ordeal with her. And intimacy did not mean sex. Intimacy meant getting to know her, getting to understand who she is, understand her mindset. And it's not a one-sided thing. I also became intimate and vulnerable. Slowly walls dropped. It started dropping. We even worked recovery numerous of times with each other. In person, we worked recovery. And one thing about a woman in recovery and a man in recovery, your past does not depict your future. We all have done some things that we regret once we come out of that fall. And it's encouraged by me and so many others not to judge, because life has to go on. You know, that confined caterpillar, that thing that looked at funny and moved funny, became so beautiful over a level of time. And recovery was the cocoon for a beautiful butterfly such as myself and her as well, and others, to come out and be the best we can be. The truth, excuse me. But there's so much to learn. And her, she had so many barriers. She's a great woman, you know, and we've been together about 4 months now, and I can truly say I love her. And this is the first time that I can say that I accept the honesty and the change of this woman. Sure, early on, you get those moments where you're thinking, is she still up to her old ways? Is she still up to her old ways? But then I had to check myself. Am I still up to my old ways? Am I still thinking negative? Am I still honing on to things in my past that's going to ultimately depict my future? She is someone that holds me accountable. I hold her accountable. I am truly in a courtship with this woman. She is my partner. She's my partner. She's my friend. She's there for me. And I have to keep a balance. We have to keep a balance within each other. And that's in any relationship. I realize now as a man, you know, me taking my life serious as a man, we have to, one can't be this way and another can't be this way. It's a balance. I can sense when she might falter with feelings, and then she can sense with me. Emotionally, you know, there's always one that's stronger than the other, and there's always one that's might be here and one might be there, and that's fine, you know. And I haven't figured that one out yet. But it goes with a flow. It goes with the flow of things. And I'm emotionally attached to her as well as mentally attached. So what it does is, in her voice, in her tone, her situation, I want to be supportive as much as possible in her life, and that's what we are here to do as humans and as a whole. Is to work a helping hand with humanity and help each other where one is down, and identify with the problem. You may be strong in this area, they may be strong in this area. It makes the world more golden and beautiful. And our past is our past, you know. Things happen, and you can't judge somebody off of that. And it's not about being desperate. It's not about not being able to go after the things that you want. It's seeing that quality. It's seeing that quality in that person. You have so much opportunity, and all you need is somebody that's going to support you and that's going to love you for who you are. And that's the opportunity that I took. And I'm so thankful for God that I took this opportunity. And there's some things that I had to go through early and rectify quick, because when you're in a relationship, there's no time to waste with emotion. You got to come in. You got to come in right, you know, and deal with the heavies and the woes and the understandings and the truthfulness and the withouts. You know, I hate not being. Well, in the beginning I did. You know, as I seen her like maybe a year or a month. You know, there's times where I hate not seeing her. I hate not being with her. But that's gonna happen. Because as long as we were out on the streets, as long as we were not handling business, we gotta make up that time. And understanding that people have lives, you know, and they got things to take care of. And I've seen within myself and her, I've seen things take place. Beautiful things take place. Goals be accomplished. Like I said, me buying a kid something for their birthday, Christmas, another birthday. My daughter just had in March. License, paid off tickets, short amount of time, and her as well. And when you see that productivity in somebody, you immediately, sorry y'all, I'm looking that way because I see somebody walk out the door. But productivity inside of a person, you can see it's potential there for us to create and grow together. And that's where the love extends from. The person, you see the love within, they love themselves. And loving themselves allow you to love them too. And people used to always say that, how somebody else supposed to love you and love yourself? And I used to be like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know that question. I don't understand what that question means. But I do now. Because when you're trying to go high, you got to go with somebody going high too. And I'm like, dang, high. High five. Bring it down. We're there. So, I just thank God for my relationship right now. It's early on. Life acceptance. Living life on life terms, you know. This is where I'm at. I love my life. I love who I'm with. You know, I wouldn't change it for the world. You know. And I know we keep God. And we keep recovery first, and we keep God, and we keep recovery, and God, and keep recovery. You know, elevate each other and be motivational and just love on people. You know, everything will fall into place. So this is my second video on my blog of love and recovery. Thank you. Bye.